child, the last thing I expected to find on the internet was a report about Jay-Z allegedly suing ASAP Rocky and Beyoncé suing Rihanna. What lawsuits over what is this? The part where Bana finally gets to expose Jay-Z is Roc Nation putting out fake lawsuits to take away from their real lawsuits, or is this another one of Diddy's misinformation campaigns to get people to question everything, guys? I hope you seated because whatever is going on here is obviously insane. Okay, in case y'all haven't seen it yet. There were photos of lawsuits making rounds of 2 pending lawsuits in the Virgin Islands District Court, suggesting that Jay-Z is tied up in a case against A$AP Rocky, while Beyoncé and Rihanna are duking it out in a separate matter. The lawsuit Beyoncé allegedly filed against Rihanna even said that the contents of the case are currently sealed, but a hearing is scheduled for March 8, 2025, but almost immediately after the links to the cases disappeared, leaving many to question what sort of a joke was going on. Like, was someone in the courts using real celibate IDs to test out systems? Plus, why were they suing Rihanna for $100,000 only? And they couldn't even use A$AP's real name in the lawsuit, or spell Rihanna's name correctly. Definitely giving cap. Yes, Beyoncé is facing a lawsuit after her record label company, Parkwood Entertainment, was sued for copyright infringement. After songwriter Melvin Moore claimed Chloe Bailey, who is signed to the record label, used his work without permission in several of her songs, Melvin Moore claimed that he, quote, contributed substantial original lyrics, melodies, and creative direction to several master recordings in Chloe Bailey's second studio album, Trouble in Paradise. And he said that Chloe intentionally disregarded the DMCA ceased and desist notice he issued her before promoting songs like Same Lingerie on her Instagram page. He even explained that his relationship with a woman inspired Sam Lingerie, adding that he recorded the song's original demos based on the women's hesitations and emotional struggles following a previous relationship, and demanded punitive damages of $5 million for each song he contributed to on the album. He also pursued compensatory and punitive damages for willful copyright infringements, fraudulent misrepresentation, and civil conspiracy. Basically, what he was saying was that Chloe wrongfully took credit for his contributions, falsely registered the works under their names, and profited from them across various revenue-generating platforms without his consent. There were even reports that Beyoncé was infuriated by how things had gotten out of control, leading to the lawsuit, but that's the only lawsuit associated with Beyoncé in court documents. As far as Jay-Z is concerned, the only recent lawsuit was the one that was filed in relation to Diddy, but the one about Rihanna and A$AP appears to be fake. In fact, Roc Nation addressed the rumors indirectly, saying that people should not be dumb. Emphasizing the baseless nature of these allegations, the company suggested that no such legal filings exist and urged the public to disregard unfounded reports circulating online. And although Roc Nation did not directly deny the reports, their clever mention of A$AP Rocky's forthcoming album title suggests that there is no lawsuit, but as much as Roc Nation indirectly said that the lawsuits were fake, that didn't stop some people from saying that they actually believed the lawsuits given Rihanna's history with the Carters. I mean, the general assumption has always been that Beyoncé is jealous of Rihanna, and because I want y'all to get the gist of it, I will break everything down. Now, we know that Rihanna joined the industry after Beyoncé, and after her hit P, The Replay, she signed to Jay-Z's record label. Of course, R also got to interact with Beyoncé in the process, and in the beginning, Rihanna was actually singing Beyoncé's praises, and she said a few times that she looked up to
Big fan of Beyoncé.
I love her.
And so has she given you any kind of advice or...
Yeah, she actually wrote me this cute little letter, and she signed it with her autograph. It was so cute. When I first met her, and she wrote, she was telling me, just let loose when you perform and just have fun.
But things reportedly started going south when Jay-Z and Rihanna allegedly had an affair that has left Beyoncé bitter to this day. There were even allegations that Beyoncé tried to sabotage Rihanna's career by telling Jay-Z to go behind Rihanna's back and leak her album Anti-prematurely to help prop up her album formation, for those who recall Anti-leaked on Tidal earlier than it was expected to, which led to Rihanna releasing it herself, offering up free download codes for her fans to hear the album without paying for it. And apparently Jay leaked the album intentionally, but ever since Rihanna joined, Rock Nation there have been all sorts of rumors and allegations about Jay-Z and Rihanna, and threads about how BA has always been jealous of Rihanna, for instance, in the biography Becoming Beyoncé by J. Randy Tara, Belly, that was released in 2015. It says that the Carters reportedly separated for a year in 2005, and apparently this split coincided with Jay's scouting of Rihanna, which sparked rumors of a supposed affair, in fact, while speaking to Entertainment Tonight at the time. Randy said Beyoncé didn't know what to make of this, and it actually ended up breaking them up for a time. They spent maybe a year apart from each other, because Beyoncé just wasn't sure of what to make of the situation with Rihanna still on the affair. Rumors allegedly there was one time when Beyoncé was at a party, but she arrived there alone. Then a few moments later, Jay-Z walked into the party with Rihanna by his side, and they look like a couple based on what I've heard after Beyoncé saw Jay-Z. And Rihanna, she started sobbing uncontrollably, and she was even hyperventilating. But guess what? Allegedly, Jay-Z didn't pay her any attention. It's like he did not even care that his girl was sobbing uncontrollably because he had walked in holding another woman. In fact, based on reports, Jay-Z and Rihanna continued having a good time at the party, and so Elle was the one who had to comfort Beyoncé. I've even seen allegations claiming that when Chris Brown and Rihanna were together, the real reason why they broke up was that he got mad after Rihanna gave him an STD, which she had gotten from Jay-Z. And after Chris confronted Rihanna for always having something in her mouth, Rihanna followed Chris to the Lamborghini and started fighting him for embarrassing her, and Chris retaliated. Allegedly, Chris Brown was forced by Jay-Z to give a different version of the story about what happened that fateful night, because Jay didn't want anything else to come out about him and Rihanna.
Like, people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay-Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started her and signed to the Def Jam. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most sexually involved with, and that was Sean Carter. So here it is. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from a celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with, and it was supposed to be this and it was supposed to be that, and he was there so people wouldn't pay attention to the fact that she was Jay-Z.
Reportedly, even after the 2014 altercation involving Solange in the elevator, Beyoncé put some rules down about Jay-Z not having any one-on-ones with his female talent, and a source revealed to Hollywood Life that Beyoncé was still suspicious of Rihanna, saying, "Rihanna is a person she's suspicious of. There have been so many rumors over the years about her and Jay. It's hard to know what to believe at this point. Beyoncé keeps a very close eye on Jay and Rihanna, but he's not banned from working with her. Not yet, at least. But you all remember that when things got out of hand, Rihanna's former publicist Jonathan said that they came up with a rumor to push Rihanna's career by saying in an email the PR stunt that I did was out of desperation to help break pond. The replay. It was reckless, and I didn't think it was going to work. I was just throwing spaghetti at a wall to see what would stick." Publicist also said that they didn't think it would be that big of a story, but seeing Beyoncé suffer, and knowing that people were profiting from speculations and opinions about her, really turned his stomach. Then he added, "I'm ashamed that I'm even talking about this. I just want to put this rumor to rest once and for all, but then again, the same." Publicist also revealed quite recently that he was stopped by federal agents who he said were keeping close tabs on Jay since his incident with Suing Rihanna, and he was also being implicated in an incident with R. Kelly during their joint tour. Jonathan said that one day, unmarked law enforcement cars stopped him, and the intimidating individuals introduced themselves as a federal task force, and they requested to speak with him, so he followed them to talk, and he was in a complete state of panic. He said that as he sat in the desolate SL makeshift interation room, and while they questioned him, the gravity of the situation became clear to him. Apparently, the feds clarified that they were investigating Jay-Z for allegedly engaging in X-rated activity with Rihanna when she had not yet turned 18 and illegally transporting her across international borders, and the feds said that she wasn't the only one. There were many others again. This only went further to prove that there was possibly something going on between Jay-Z and Rihanna that Beyoncé did not like. Also remember that lawsuit against The Dream where Chanaz Mongro suggested that Dream pit the two artists against each other, and Beyoncé enjoyed being the favorite and rubbing it in Rihanna's face. Apparently, that also proved to a lot of people that BA was indeed always jealous of Rihanna. and child. Let me not even begin with the many times Beyoncé has been accused of copying Rihanna's business ventures, so. Yeah, when the lawsuit claims started making rounds, you can see why some people said they wouldn't be surprised. Well, based on other reports, it's also possible that these lawsuits were brought up by Diddy's camp to spread misinformation, ideally. This entire circus is meant to make people question what is true and what is not true in light of the various allegations that have been brought up in Hollywood, and if people doubt everything that's being thrown at them, they're also going to start doubting what's true and what's not about Diddy. Honestly, there's been a lot of misinformation going on, and it's just crazy at this point. Well, the lawsuits may have been fake, but do you also see how some people may have believed